3. When does this man take over charge? I'm alone just now, and I gather that I'm to stand fast under him. Would you have cared for a transfer? Said Bellows keenly. Then, laying his hand on Talentire's shoulder, we're all the same boat. Don't desert us. And yet, why the devil should you stay, if you can get another charge? It was Ord's, said Talentire simply. Well, it's days now. He's a Bengali of the Bengalis, crammed with code and case law, a beautiful man so far as routine and desk work go, and pleasant to talk to. They naturally have always kept him in his own home district, where all his sisters and cousins and his aunts lived, somewhere south of Dhaka. He did no more than turn the place into a pleasant little family preserve, allowed his subordinates to do what they liked, and let everybody have a chance at the shekels. Consequently, he's immensely popular down there. I've nothing to do with that. How on earth am I to explain to the district that they are going to be governed by a Bengali? Does the government, suppose that the Kurshu Kettle will sit quietly when they once know? What will the Mohammedans, heads of the villages, say? How will the police, Muzab Sheikhs and Panthans, how will they work under him? We couldn't say anything if the government appointed a sweeper, but my people will say a good deal, you know that. It's a piece of cruel folly. My dear boy, I know all that, and more. I've represented it, and been told that I am exhibiting culpable and puerile prejudice. By Joves, if the Krushru Kale don't exhibit something worse than that, I don't know the border. The chances are that you will have the district alight on your hands, and I shall have to leave my work and help you pull through. I needn't ask you to stand by the Bengali man in every possible way. You'll do that for your own sake. For Ords, I can say that I care 2 pence personally. I can't say I care 2 pence personally. Don't be an ass. It's grievous enough, God knows, and the government will know later on. But that's no reason for your sulking. You must try and run the district. You must stand between him and as much insult as possible. You must show him the ropes. You must pacify the Kushru Kail. And just warn Kurbar of the police to look out for trouble, by the way. I'm always at the end of the telegraph wire, and I'm willing to peril my reputation to hold the district together. You'll lose yours, of course. If you keep things straight and he isn't actually beaten with a stick when he's on tour, he'll get all the credit. If anything goes wrong, you'll be told that you didn't support him loyally. I know what I've got to do, said Talentire wearily, and I'm going to do it, but it's hard. The work is with us. The event is with Allah, as Ord used to say when he was more than usually in hot water, and Bellows rode away. That 2 gentlemen of Her Majesty's Bengal civil service should thus discourse a third almost in that service, and a cultured and affable man withal, seemed strange and saddening. Yet listen to the artless babble of the blind Mullah Jagay, the priest of the Krushu Keel, sitting upon a rock overlooking the border. 5 years before, a chance hurled shell from a screw gun battery had dashed earth in the face of the mullah, then urging a rush of Ghazis against 6 British bayonets. So he became blind, and hated the English none the less for the little accident. Yardley Ordy knew his failing, and had many times laughed at him therefore. Dogs you are, said the blind mullah to the listening tribesmen around the fire. Whipped dogs, because you listened to Ord Sahib and called him father and behaved as his children. The British government have proven how they regard you. Ord Sahib, you know, is dead. Aye, said 6 voices. He was a man. Comes now in his stead whom you think? A Bengali of Bengal, an eater of the fish from the south. A lie, said Khodadan Khan, and but for the small matter of thy priesthood, I'd drive my bungut first down thy throat. Oh, art thou there, lick-spittle of the English? Go in tomorrow across the border to pay service to Orhib's successor, and thou shalt slip thy shoes at the tent door of a Bengali, as thou shalt hand thy offering to a Bengali's black fist. This I know, and in my youth, When a young man spoke evil to a mullah holding the doors of heaven and hell, the gun butt was not rammed down the mullah's gullet. No! The blind mullah hated Khoradan Khan with Afghan hatred, both being rivals for the headship of the tribe. But the latter was feared for bodily as the other for spiritual gifts. Khoradan Khan looked at Ord's ring and grunted, "I go in tomorrow because I am not an old fool preaching war against the English. If the government, smitten with madness, have done this, then, croaked the mullah, thou wilt take out the young men and strike at the 4 villages within the border? Or wring thy neck, black raven of the Jahannam, for bearer of ill tidings." Khoradan Khan oiled his long locks with great care, put on his best Bokhara belt, a new turban cap, and fine green shoes, and accompanied by a few friends, came down from the hills to pay a visit to the new deputy commissioner of Kot Kumsaran. Also, he bore tribute, 4 or 5 priceless gold mohurs of Akbar's time in a white handkerchief. These the deputy commissioner would touch and remit. The little ceremony used to be a sign that, so far as Khoradan Khan's personal influence went, the Kushra Kale would be good boys till the next time, especially if Khoradan Khan happened to like the new deputy commissioner. In Yardley Orderly's consulship, his visit concluded with a sumptuous dinner and perhaps forbidden liquors, certainly with some wonderful tales and great good fellowship. Then Khoradan Khan would swagger back to his hold, vowing that Ord Sahib was one prince and Talantyre Sahib another, and that whosoever went a raiding into British territory would be flayed alive.